Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mindset Model podcast. I am delighted today to welcome our guest, Tiff. Now, Tiff is from Empowered Health, and I am beyond delighted to bring her onto the show because this is the season of well-being. So, Tiff, welcome. Tell us a little bit about you and what inspired you to step into the world of empowered health.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I'm Tiff from Empowered Health. I am the founder and director of that company. I am a nurse. I have been for the last nearly 10 years now. My background is in emergency medicine, so 6 years within A&E, and then most recently in the community dealing with unwell adults. And from this job, I just really saw how chronic conditions are really prevalent in adults in the UK.
Yeah.
And actually, chronic conditions can be prevented mostly by lifestyle. So it can't always be prevented, but it's a huge, huge factor. And equally, conventionally at the moment, we will have to wait for a symptom of disease to be
Yes. Yeah.
present before we do anything about our health. But if we have the information and the means to access preventative health, these chronic conditions are hopefully could be reduced. So really, I stepped into Empowered Health for preventative health measures.
This is incredible. And it's something that, when I first met you, Tiff, I saw you standing on stage at this incredible Empower Her connection event. My jaw hit the ground. I was like, what? We can prevent these things.
Yeah.
And you know what I love? Your business, your tagline is rooted in the idea that health is not a luxury
Hmm.
and slowing down is a necessity.
Yeah.
I really resonate with this. Can you tell us a little bit more about what Empowered Health is all about and the mission behind it?
Sure. Two things really is, like I just said, why are we waiting for symptom of disease to show? Why? Why is that a thing in this day and age? And secondly, I want to educate people knowing that normal, so normal ranges like bloods or any of the testing, normal does not mean healthy.
Really? And what
Yeah.
do you mean by that? So,
So so there's like when we have blood testing done conventionally, blood testing is measured against a range, and that range can be quite wide in terms
okay.
of as long as you fall within this range, you're fine. You
So it
know,
will literally be like, you're fine.
you're
Great.
fine. And
Carry on with your life, living your best life.
absolutely, yeah. And I think we've all heard those words whenever you
Yeah.
ring GPs for your blood results. You're fine. You're
Yeah.
fine. But actually, what we need to be looking at is are you fine, and have a look at what are people's normal, what is normal for you, rather than where you fall in, or this big range that you fall in, where like I said, if you fall in this range you're fine, rather than waiting for it to be too high or too low, and that's when something's done about it. We need to be more specific for everyone, if that makes sense, a bit more personalized and
Absolutely.
tracking. So really what I wanted to do with Empowered Health is then having a real look at where people fall on this range, and whether it falls in you're actually okay, you're actually, that's a really good number, or are you at risk, do we need to monitor you, or are you really falling in like an urgent attention category where normally they would say you're fine, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I know that a few of the women at the event shared some examples of how they were
Mm,
told that they were fine when actually there was some underlying health conditions that if they had the correct blood testing,
mm,
it would have been flagged and they could have changed the way that they were living their lifestyle and prevented.
yeah. Yeah, there was a lady that had a diabetes check,
Okay.
and so normally you don't normally get that till you're a bit older, but a younger lady had had a bloods done which included this diabetes check, and in the ranges at the moment I think she'd fallen into 41, which had been ticked green and had stated she doesn't have diabetes. However, when you look at the ranges, 41 is 1 point away from being pre-diabetic. So she's
Wow. One
one
point.
one point away from being pre-diabetic, which means that she's got an impaired glucose regulation. So that's what we mean by diabetes. It just means her body's not processing her insulin and blood sugar levels correctly. Because she was 1 point away, but still within that really big range, she was told she's fine. That it was,
So,
yeah, it was wild. Instead of
wow.
the medical profession saying to her, actually, you're 1 point away from pre-diabetes. Shall we have a look at your lifestyle and try and reverse some of the causes? Because if she hadn't had that test there and then, she could have gone for years without testing, not knowing she was that high on that range. And then by the time something was discovered, she absolutely would have been diabetic. So therefore, she has another chronic condition which could have been prevented.
That is insane.
Yeah,
And
it
that
is.
is why what you do is so powerful and
Yeah, thank you.
impactful, honestly. And that's why I had to bring you on the
Yeah.
show. So you really specialize in bespoke blood
Yeah.
testing. Why is personalized blood testing so crucial, especially for women who want to feel healthier and stronger and more in tune with their bodies?
Mm. I think it's just because I'd be able to offer more, we call them biomarkers. So they're the specific tests we look for in the bloods. And I think when you go to a conventional doctor, there's normally a prescribed list of bloods they're going to test for
Okay.
because they're looking for disease. They're looking for a problem because you've gone to them with a symptom.
Yes.
Whereas with more preventative health, we have, I wouldn't say we don't have more access to biomarkers. It's just that we can check for more and we're looking more for the root cause rather than the symptom of disease.
And how will, so finding the root cause,
Mm-hmm.
that is so important
Yeah.
because that is the preventative side of
Mm-hmm.
things. So, that is a huge part of what you're doing. It's more bespoke.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you say are the biggest hidden issues you see in women that
Yeah,
don't often get picked up in standard health checks? I bet you've got a list.
I have. There's a few, and not all of them can be picked up with blood work, but I think stress, inflammation, and a dysregulated nervous system are by far probably and inflammation being the biggest one, I think, that aren't picked up on regular blood testing, but or even when you go to a GP like for conventional testing, I wouldn't think that would be in the forefront of their mind of to look
Really?
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think stress and inflammation being huge, like our bodies are probably constantly inflamed from the lives we live today. We live in a very technical age, and how we live our lives does cause a lot of inflammation. So yeah,
Absolutely.
and I think all of these, they come with a lot of physical symptoms that you may not think.
Really? Like what?
Yeah, so why, like if you become wired but exhausted, insomnia but with like daytime fatigue, if you're feeling super tired if you're crashing in mid-afternoon, struggling to like focus, um if you have days where you're or periods where you're like super hyper like productive but then have days where you crash and need to recover, that all isn't normal, and you could be thinking there's something hugely wrong, but actually that's stress, inflammation, dysregulated nervous system. Yeah, there were just a bit few. There's many others, but I
And by
think for
having,
women, sorry, I was going to
no,
say for
you carry
women,
on.
I would say for women particularly, that is something to look for if when you're feeling off.
And that's so interesting that you say that because many women, especially, just tolerate, put up with,
Yeah,
and disregard and are
yeah.
like, oh, it's probably normal, but it's really not.
No,
So
it's
by
not.
having a bespoke blood test, we can really look into what is that root cause, what is
Yeah.
happening here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I was reading something the other day, and I think in going back to how our lives are to how they were, I think our ancestors used to make like 2,500 decisions a day. So, in terms of what are they going to eat, where they're going to eat, where they're
Yes.
going to sleep. I think now in this day and age, we're up to like over 35,000 decisions
What?
a day. Yeah, subconsciously and consciously, like over 35,000 decisions we make daily. It's just wild. So, you just think, no, no, our bodies are a bit all over the place sometimes.
When you put it into that perspective and you really pause and have a look at what we're doing every
Mm-hmm.
single day,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that is Shocking.
Yeah.
So, for anybody who is listening to this and thinking, oh shit, who is thinking, oh, okay,
That sounds a bit like me.
oh dear, who is feeling a little bit tired, a bit run down, or disconnected
Yeah.
from their health, where do you think they should start? What could they start doing?
Okay. I think first off, if they can, or should I say, take 5-10 minutes just to stop, sit, take a few deep breaths and think, actually, what is it about my health that I don't like? Is it I am feeling unhealthy, but I don't know why? Is it I'm feeling run down, but I don't know why? Or is it I know what I need to do, but I'm not doing it. And actually, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to get there. Or have like a real think about those scenarios. And then once you've thought about that, actually, then you'll know where to go. So if it's you need more information, go find a practitioner, go get your bloods tested, or have a look at how can you reshuffle your lifestyle to make your whole life healthier.
Those are incredible awareness questions, and it's something that many of us are not doing. We are
Mm,
just getting up. We're like robots, just going day through day through day,
yeah,
not pausing and stopping to actually ask ourselves the question,
yeah,
how is my health? How am I feeling? What could I be doing?
yeah. And health is taken for granted. It really is. In my background in A&E, I saw how much life changes within seconds, and we shouldn't be taking our health for granted at all. Um,
It's
yeah.
so inspiring to have you on the show because,
Mm-hmm.
you have seen, I'm sure, many things which have really, really shocked you and shown you, that health can be taken away in a
Yeah.
second. And we really do take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And on the podcast at the moment, we are in the season of well-being. And I really want all of the listeners to really take a pause and, think about what they're doing. What simple daily shifts can you say that women might make right now to, support their energy, maybe their hormones, their
Mhm.
overall vitality? Like hormones is a huge thing at the
Yeah.
moment, and everything like that. What would you say?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, firstly, join my wait list.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness me. I'm first dibs.
Yeah,
Help me
come
when
join
everyone
my
else
wait
out the
list.
way.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll have priority, I promise you.
Excellent.
Yeah, come join my wait list for some blood taking. Short term, I think real achievable goals, water intake. Are you really drinking enough water? Between the 2 and 4 liters of water, not tea, not coffee, not hot chocolate, no carbonated drinks, actual water. How much are you drinking that in a day? So
So
I think,
champagne doesn't count.
no, I'm sorry, darling. I'm
Oh.
really sorry. But water, sleep quality, how.
Just going back to the water, because
Mm,
again, we always get told, make sure you're drinking more water. Um, what are the benefits? I mean, I've heard that, drinking more water can really help with your energy and,
mhm.
things like that. But why are we told to drink
Yeah.
more?
So it's on a cellular level, really. I
Oh,
mean,
we're getting deep,
yeah,
everyone.
we're on a cellular level. We are a human being made up mostly of water, and if our blood cells aren't hydrated enough, if our bloodstream isn't hydrated enough, things aren't going to work properly. Things aren't going to pass between cell membranes, and all our different bodily functions aren't going to work as much. And then even more on a bit of a larger scale, even just mistaking thirst for hunger,
Mm,
and then that's when we're going to start
absolutely.
reaching for the processed snacks, and yeah, and just having that bit of brain fatigue. um just and things like your kidney function, just keeping your kidneys working at optimal function is going to reduce the risk of possible kidney disease later down the line. Keeping everything moving, flushing out as it's meant to be. If you're not having enough water, you run the risk of constipation. Sorry to bring bowels
Nobody
into
wants
it.
that. We do not
No,
want
no,
bunged up bowels. We're not here for
absolutely
it.
no. And then that then affects like everything, your like appetite. Everything is generally connected, and it can come down to something as simple as water.
something so simple that, again, we take for granted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drinking more water can prevent so many of those things. And I love how you've explained that as well on a cellular level, because again, it is that understanding and that education as to, we get told to do these things and
But
a lot
what?
of us roll our eyes, but
Mm,
it's like, well, actually,
yes.
this is why.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Sorry, what else was on your list?
Oh, yes. Sleep quality. I know that can be a really like difficult one to establish, but even just something simple as, I know we're all guilty of doom scrolling. I, for one, am guilty of that sometimes, but even just trying to put your phone away an hour before bed, get that blue light out of your system, and just trying to improve your quality sleep a bit more. But something really short term as well. Getting fresh air. How many of us actually get outside, especially during the winter months? Now we've lost the light evenings, but just getting, even if it's cloudy, just getting some fresh air, some daylight, because that's going to help regulate your natural rhythm. It's going to know that it's daytime, but just fresh air as well. And that's going to help boost a little bit of energy and boost your mood as well.
Those are three simple but incredibly powerful hints and tips.
Yeah.
Again, which, getting outside, that is something that I make sure I do religiously,
Yeah.
because so many of us are living lives which are just back to back, full on emails, messages, craziness, kids blowing things up, husbands
Yeah.
are annoying, and
Yeah.
the dogs eating the shoes, and all sorts of things. And if you can just literally take a moment to step outside, get some fresh air,
Yeah.
walk around, get things moving, it just really helps to kind of ground you,
Yeah.
bring you into the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And even then, if you've got some time as well, even just looking into a bit of breath work. So just if you've got a 5-10 minutes just to try and be still, do some breath work. There's an amazing lady that we both know, Georgie Blackman. So actually, everyone go follow her. She's an incredible woman that actually has such an inspiring story about taking control of her own health, but she's very good for breath work. So go check her out.
Well, this is very exciting, Tiff, because Georgie is going to be one of the podcast guests on the Mindset Model,
Amazing.
which is very exciting. And that's going to beautifully lead into the breath work. I do breath work every single
Yeah.
week, and it's made such an impact
Mm-hmm.
to it's very meditative, that word. But it's, really boosting that oxygen within your body as well. And
Yeah.
it's there's so many health
It
benefits.
really is. I've since meeting Georgie, I've managed to do some breath work as well.
Have you?
Yeah,
How are you feeling?
oh, much better because I realized as well in my day-to-day life, because I'm running around here, there, and everywhere, especially with work, I almost hold my breath at every opportunity. Like I'm not fully breathing from my diaphragm. I'm just kind of just breathing from
Yeah.
my, just like holding my breath. And then it's not till I stop and go, oh, oh yeah, I've not really breathed today. But something as simple as that, I think, can really make a huge difference. I've done some breath work recently when unfortunately like the perimenopause insomnia hits. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm just trying to do my box breathing
Yeah.
to try and calm myself down and drift back off to sleep. But I have found a huge benefit in the short time that I've done it. Huge benefit.
That is absolutely incredible. Tiff, I'm obsessed. I'm so excited for your bespoke services.
Thank
Where
you.
can our listeners find you? Where can they get on the wait list?
Yes, absolutely. So at the moment, I'm on Instagram. So it's at Empowered Health NN. Or you can email me, which is info@empoweredhealthreview.co.uk. Website is currently under construction.
Oh, I cannot wait for that to be launched. It's going to be
Thank you.
absolutely stunning. So I just want to say a massive thank you, Tiff, for coming on the show and gracing us with your knowledge, the era of well-being.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's listening to this, please make sure you check Tiff's Instagram page out. Get on that wait list because I know it is going to be fully packed in.
Yeah.
And if you love this episode, which I know you did, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next time on the Mindset Model. Take care, everyone.